Boa tarde, good afternoon, and disculpe, I'm sorry. I had truly wanted to be with you in São Paulo for this conference, to be with my friends Elizabeth and Eduardo and all of the others at Unica who have made Brazilian ethanol such a force in the globe. But alas, I live in a crazy town, and it was a crazy confluence of events that have kept me from being with you. But there are a few things I want to be able to say to you. First, this town got a lot crazier last November with the election of Donald Trump. But Americans wanted someone to shake up this town, and he has done that for sure. He has done it most of all by saying what he means and doing what he says. Now that gives those of us in the U.S. ethanol industry a great deal of confidence, because he has repeatedly expressed support for biofuels, for ethanol, and for the renewable fuel standard. And we are extraordinarily confident that President Trump understands what we're trying to do and will help this industry grow. His agenda, which includes dramatically removing and repealing regulations that only thwart the development of business, is much needed for our industry. And we look forward to his regulatory reform agenda and helping us open up new market opportunities across the country with higher level blends and moving lower carbon fuels across the world. Now look, some people were discouraged when, once again, he did what he said and he pulled the United States from the Paris Accord. But that does not mean that the United States is abdicating its leadership role in reducing carbon. In fact, the U.S. ethanol industry is committed to providing low-cost, low-carbon fuels across the globe. The most recent studies show that U.S. ethanol produced from corn reduces carbon by 43% relative to gasoline. To me, that's leadership. But I also want to commend Brazil for their continued commitment and continued efforts to reduce carbon and show the world how we can be environmentally responsible while creating jobs and using more energy. We need to be building markets for those low carbon fuels in China, in India, in Mexico. And we got great news just a week ago in Mexico as they've opened that market up for 10% ethanol. That's what the United States and Brazil should be doing together. That's why I was so surprised when I saw that Unica and the Brazilian government are looking at imposing a new tariff on U.S. ethanol. That doesn't help anybody. It hurts Brazilian consumers who will be denied access to the lowest cost octane on the planet. It hurts the investment community that will wonder, do we invest in these biofuels? Is it truly a growing market? Or are countries going to be erecting barriers that will hurt those investments? I implore you to walk away from this dangerous agenda, to continue to support free trade and the free flow of ethanol across the globe. Brazil and the United States can lead here. Now is not the time to be erecting barriers that walk away from that agenda. So, ate, may, goodbye, till we meet again.